Thank you, Lorraine. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going to be quite easy for me today because I've looked around and I'm not going to have some of the problems I've had before. When I was in Russia giving a talk on Putin, Putin's private banker came up to me afterwards with some issues. But the worst of all was I was giving a talk on the Mandela presidency, and who is in the audience? Nelson Mandela. Talk went well until somebody said, "What are his weaknesses?" It was pretty downhill. I've looked carefully. I don't see any of Mao's relatives. Mr. Xi Jinping, the present president, couldn't make it today, so I don't expect any problems. I really love this quote by William Faulkner, "The past is never dead." It's not even past. And think of your own country. How many battles and political conflicts we are still fighting over past issues, past grievances, in Belgium, in the United States, in my country. So I'm a very modest person, and what I want to do really is something very simple. Look at the past of China, the present of China, and the future of China, right? Pretty unambitious goal in 2 talks. As you probably all know, I've lived in many, many countries. Sometimes I've had to escape. Sometimes I have voluntarily moved to a country. Usually once I've been to a country once, they don't like me to come back. But one of the things that I always try and do is capture the essence of a country, right? Capture the essence. What makes it tick? And that's why I love that William Faulkner quote. In other words, if we were looking at China, and obviously we're talking about a civilization that is nearly 2,000 years old. We're talking about 1/5 of the world's population. We're talking about dynasties, leaders, conflicts, and so on, and Terry will be talking about some of those in his talks. If I were to look and generalize what makes China tick, I would say it is 2 conflicting trends. 2 conflicting trends. The one trend is an enormous pride in the achievements historically of the Chinese people. The invention of the gunpowder, the invention of writing, the fact that China had a navy that explored the world long before Christopher Columbus. They had huge naval fleet that could have conquered the world long before the British Empire. So there is this incredible pride, nationalism, tinging on arrogance of these historical achievements. On the other hand, there is a history of tumult, starvation, violence. That's why a Scottish professor called China the peso-optimistic country, the pessimistic, optimistic country. And I think it captures the duality of China. Just imagine, from 1850 to 1970, 100 million Chinese people perished through political decisions. 100 million people died through the politics of their country. War, civil war, and starvation. So I'd like to, therefore, look a little bit at some of the realities of China, and then we can locate Mao in that context. We have 2 kinds of societies. We have those where politics doesn't matter a great deal. Obviously, I don't want to get involved in American politics, but think of President Trump.